day after day. That is the World Breastfeeding Week. Thank you all of you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Professor Dr. Asha Qureshi. I am Dean at Galgotias School of Nursing, Galgotia University. Today we are celebrating World Breastfeeding Week. I'll give you just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for questions at the end. At the end of this session, just hold on. Mr. Rawat has joined. So if you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will all have time for question at the end. At the end of the session, I have a special offer for you, my dear friends. So make sure you stay till the end. Keep yourself muted and cameras on so that we can see your beautiful, ambassadors of our profession by face to face. Let me give a small introduction on today's okay. So I'll give you a small introduction about today's theme. As you all know, breastfeeding is a natural method through which a mother feeds her milk to her baby, thereby providing nutrients to the child, fluid, and even antibodies against the diseases. It is therefore an extremely healthy practice that provides the baby with the best start of life possible. The World Health Organization, WHO, and experts around the world recommend that all mothers should exclusively breastfeed their babies for at least the first 6 months of their lives. To promote breastfeeding and its many benefits for the mother and child, the WHO celebrates the week between 1st and 7th August every year as the World Breastfeeding Week. The theme for 2020 is Support Breastfeeding for a Healthier Planet. While breastfeeding is healthy practice, many have immense misconceptions regarding it in our country and all around the world. This forms a major barrier, to proper breastfeeding practices being implemented throughout the world. Proper maternal counseling, awareness programs are needed, and to completely dispel these myths. There are so many myths that still the people are carrying, and we, the ambassador of our profession, must remove these myths from the people. We have eminent speakers with us here, who will share here the valuable thoughts with us. Now, we have Dr. Ratni Balachandran was supposed to join with us, but because of her busy schedule in the ministry, she could not join, and she has she will join as soon as she will get the time, in between. And she has sent a message which I will read. She has given the best wishes. She has given the best wishes. She said, "It's a great initiative. Wish you all the best. Nurse midwives of India can make wonderful impact in the life of the newborn and mothers and their family by performing as breastfeeding ambassadors. Wish you all the best for this endeavor." This is the message from Dr. Rati Balakrishnan. She has sent this message, and I have read before you. Now, Dr. Rati Balakrishnan is a ADG. She is Additional Director General, Nursing Division in Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Madam will join us very soon because I got the phone call, I got the message, and she might join anytime. Now, we have with us Dr. Piti Kaul. She is the former director, IGNOU, New Delhi. And I'm happy to announce that Dr. Piti Kaul was not only the formerly director, but now again she has become the director. And it is a very happy day for us today. And she is going to join the new assignment from tomorrow. And again, she has got the tenure of becoming the director of IGNOU School of Health Sciences. So you are welcome, Dr. Piti Kaul, to this forum.
Thank you.
And may I now request, Madam, she is the president of Pediatric and Neonatal Nursing Forum of India. So I welcome you again, Dr. Piti, and I request you to start with the opening remark.
Thank you very much.
Over to Dr. Piti Kaul.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Asha Qureshi, a very dynamic and vibrant leader of nursing. And from the very beginning, wherever she has been working, really it has been a very pleasure to work with her because we have been associated with her in IGNOU programs. And she has always been ready to help and ready to support, guide, and everything. I'm happy to have, as on behalf of PNNFI, that is Pediatric and Neonatal Nurses Forum India, I'm really happy to be associated with you on this important webinar. And I really express my immense gratitude to the authorities and the administration of Galgotias University, who have collaborated with PNNFI for this important occasion. I also am grateful to the team of PNNFI, Dr. Rawat, Dr. Simriti, who has been very, very proactive in organizing and collaborating for all these actions. And it's really a very welcome step on behalf of both the institutions. Dr. Asha, I'm really happy to do this under your umbrella, under the umbrella of Galgotias University. And I express my immense gratitude to everyone. And I feel pleased to give me an opportunity to speak. You know, this occasion of breastfeeding week, which is celebrated around the world between 1st to 7th August, it's really an important occasion for all the nursing professionals world over, because the nurses are the key persons who can have impact whatever is the objective of celebrating the breastfeeding week. It's also important specifically for PNNFI because we are committed to the quality of newborn care, committed to the quality of infant care, the child care, and also the adolescent care. we are in infancy. We may not have made any impact in this direction, but we are in infancy as yet, and we will try our level best to contribute in whatever capacity we will be able to do. As Madam Asha has already talked, that the theme for this year 2020 is support breastfeeding for healthier planet. So what does this mean? Support breastfeeding for healthier planet. It's really very apt. You know, if you promote and support breastfeeding, you are really going to contribute to the survival of the planet Earth, because when the babies are breastfed, then they will produce the good children, they will produce the healthy children, they will also support the health of mother. They will also have that breastfeeding will also help the survival of newborn, survival of infant, and survival of child, and survival of the girl child, because then she is the creator of the whole world. So that means it is safe for, then this theme looks to be very, very important. And then why this? Because why this breastfeeding week was thought of organizing? Because there were, in between, there were formula feeds, other feeds, human, animal milk, and so on and so forth. But it was thought that it is only the breastfeed which is the golden standard. The breast milk is also called the golden standard, or it is also called as golden liquid gold, we call it as. So the experts all over the world thought, in order to reintroduce the culture of breastfeeding in the world, this breastfeeding week was thought of celebration, and it was first celebrated by World Alliance for Breastfeeding in collaboration with WHO and UNICEF. And at that point of time, that was in 1992, and at that point of time, the main focus was on creating awareness about exclusive breastfeeding for first 6 months of life. So you can see that since 1992, everybody is focusing on the exclusive breastfeeding for first 6 months, because it is a complete food in itself, and the baby or the newborn or the infant for 6 months does not need anything else. And this message has to be carried throughout the world to all the mothers, wherever they are residing, in the nook and corner of the country, in a countryside, in a village side, in a community, in a family, in high, even high income groups. We need to create the awareness among them. Then, because this day is also celebrated as a commemoration for for Innocenti Declaration, which was done in 1990, and then later on the inception took place in February 1991 for doing this. And around, how much? Around 8,20,000 lives are being saved by exclusive breastfeeding. Research has shown that, as compared when earlier there were other type of feeds, the 8,20,000 lives are saved every year by giving the by focusing on breastfeeding. Therefore, the call for this breastfeeding, the call for the high headquarters of WHO and the UNICEF, is that the government should protect and promote women's access to skilled breastfeeding counseling. So the main focus of this theme, of this sub-theme, is that all the governments have to take steps to promote and protect the natty, natty, बंद हो गया. Promote and protect the breastfeeding counseling. That is how I was telling that nursing professionals have the important role, because counseling is the purview of nursing, because they work with the mothers in the community, they work with mothers in the hospital, in the families, and also in the countries, hospitals, district hospital, in all levels of healthcare facilities. So you have, as a nursing professionals, we all have an important role for counseling, for creating counseling. And in this, we must, as professional organizations, we must focus on and also motivate and also put our active participation towards mobilizing all the resources for, because the focus mainly is on investing, focus is on training, ensuring, partner, and protect. The main focus of this theme is on to invest, to train, to ensure, to partner, and to protect. The investment means whenever there has to be in an organized way, when the counseling has to take place, that means breastfeeding counseling programs have to be developed. So that will need investment from the part on the part of the government for allocating the funds towards these site type of programs, so that all the institutions and agencies can develop such programs and then implement. Then the training is another focus. Once the breastfeeding counseling programs are developed, you need to train the health workers. That is very important. Unless and until they are trained, it's very important that they should be trained. Then ensuring is also very important. It's not that we will just plan the programs, we will invest the money, we will train the people, but who are being trained, they should be motivated that they utilize that training capability and skills in ensuring the quality counseling at all levels wherever it is important. Then nothing can be done at an independent level. Therefore, partnering is very, very important. There has to be collaborations with the institutions, with the universities, with the hospitals, with the non-governmental organizations, with the professional associations, which can take this concept forward. That is very, very important. And all of us have to focus on counseling, this partnering. Then protection is very, very important, that we are training the health workers to carry forward their breastfeeding counseling. We have to protect. What does that mean? The protection means that you have to enable them not to get influenced by the industry. You know, industry is making advertisements of the so many formula feeds, additional feeds, weaning feeds, and so on and so forth. But we have to sensitize our health workers that they should not get influenced by the industry, because they have to be very committed to creating breastfeeding counseling, and not only the awareness among the people but also themselves participating in breastfeeding counseling, so that the impact is good, it is carried to the all the grassroots level wherever it is important. Then you feel that the other important role as a nursing personnel and as a professional organization is very, very important, because some of the mothers, they feel reluctant, because you have to tell them, I have seen with my own eyes the babies dying of hypoglycemia while working with the students or working myself in their newborn nurseries, neonatal nurseries. The babies are very healthy, but they die of hypoglycemia. There are so many deaths. Why? Because the problem is that they were not getting adequate breastfeeding. You know, you were asking the mothers, what is happening? Why you are not giving feeding to the babies? Because there was no other reason of dying of the baby. It was only hypoglycemia. Then we realized that the babies were not attaching with the breast. The mothers were not able to give proper positioning. And with the result, what used to happen? The babies were sucking the nipples, and the mothers were frequently giving the feed to the babies, thinking that I am giving feed to the baby frequently, but I don't know what is happening. But when we researched what is happening, it was that the baby was just sucking the nipple. He was not sucking the breast. Therefore, it was the nurse's responsibility to. That is why in IMNCI also there was counsel the mother for breastfeeding. One of the components of IMNCI was counsel the mother, and where the UNICEF and WHO has promoted the concept of correct positioning and correct attachment. So all of you who are attending this program must today take a pledge that wherever they work, whenever they work in the maternity areas, when they work in the pediatric areas, they must focus on teaching the mothers during counseling on proper attachment, that is good attachment and good positioning. Because if the baby is not attached properly to the mother's breast, the baby will not have adequate feeding. And you all know that there are 4 steps of good attachment, which includes that baby's mouth should be wide open, the lower lip should be turned outwards, the chin must touch the breast of the mother, and also the upper areola should be more visible. So these are the important 4 points which everyone should remember when helping the mother during counseling to breastfeed the child. And also the other important area is the positioning. The baby should be in the straight line, and the mother should hold the baby with the arm, and his head should be in the elbow, and full body as well as head should be supported by the mother. And baby's abdomen should face the mother, baby should face the mother, and also the baby's mouth should be towards the nipple. Then, so these all are important things, very simple things, but these are very, very important. And unless and until you do this, because I have seen myself with own eyes, because of bad positioning and attachment, babies died. Many babies died of hypoglycemia in my present, in front of my eyes. When I found what is the cause of death of the baby, then I talked to the mothers and all. This was very sad state of affair. So I think this is only the key message which all of you must take home. And the other important thing which can become an impediment in the proper breastfeeding counseling is that many, because all the mothers, even qualified people, they have certain myths in their minds. They say that our nipples hurt. Why their nipples hurt? Because the baby is not positioned properly, the baby is not sucking properly, and the baby is not attached properly. This is why it is happening. That then babies, they say that we don't have enough of milk. When they are not feeding the babies, the milk will not be there. When they are not taking adequate diet, the milk will not be produced. So these things have to be told to them. They will say that we will not get pregnant when we are giving the breastfeeding. So that is and should we give the breast milk to the babies who are sick? Oh, see, all these myths have to be cleared from the minds of the everybody, not only the illiterate people or poor people or the disadvantaged people. Even qualified people have these type of myths, that whether we should give the breast milk to the sick baby or not, whether we should give when the nipple is hurt, because nipple is hurt because of this, when you are not doing the adequate positioning. And then also they say our figure will be changed. So that is, these are just the myths. These all myths should be cleared when you are teaching the mothers giving breastfeeding. Maybe some new material will come from the WHO or the UNICEF, where they will arrange the training programs for further implementation. But these are the common things which all of us as nurses should practice. And all the persons who are also the neonatal forum, this thing, they should also promote the breastfeeding counseling by doing more webinars, by doing more training programs on breastfeeding. It is very, very important from that point of view. The other most important thing is that the mothers will say that you have to teach them the technique of breastfeeding, because technique of breastfeeding is very, very important. Attachment is okay, good attachment is okay, the good positioning is okay, but then technique also has to be taught to the mothers. You must tell the mother that you must completely empty the breast first. When you are going to feed the baby with one breast, you must totally completely empty that breast, because the initial milk is more rich in fluid water, about 80% of the water. And then the last milk is thick milk, which is rich in fat. And unless and until baby takes both the things, that is the initial milk and also the hind milk, then the baby will not be able to have accurate feeding. So you have to tell to the mother that the first breast should be completely emptied, and then you can keep the baby to the other breast. And also the as well as demand feeding as well as 8 times a day. You can follow whatever feeding, whatever schedule you are following, the W, they say that minimum 8 times a day you should give, the baby should get the feed, or you can also give the demand feeding. But only thing is that you have to encourage the mother to see whether the baby is feeding adequately. We have seen with the qualified mothers who read so much of literature, but still their babies are feeling hungry when they breastfeed. They say, "हमने breastfeed तो दे दिया," but they are not giving it properly. So it is only your responsibility, our responsibility, that we must teach them the accurate technique, teach them positioning, teach them attachment, and also alleviate their sufferings, and also uh, just clear their ideas regarding the myths which they have. So that is uh, very important from this point of view. Then the awareness of the culture of exclusively breast, because this
Dr. Call, your time is over.
okay, I think I have complete, because Rati has not come, that is why I have taken more, otherwise
Yeah,
I was
good,
not
good,
supposed
good.
to take this much of this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Uh,
can take
so
her time.
thank you so much. This is all what I had to give. Thank you for giving me the
Yeah.
opportunity. This is all what I have.
Thank you, Dr. Pitti. And Dr. Pitti has removed all the myths which the people are carrying. And we are so lucky to have you, madam. And we are so lucky to have in this forum. Otherwise, this day is always celebrated in the community for spreading the awareness program, for putting up the exhibits, for putting up the camps and all, you know. So this is the first time that we are celebrating this World Breast Day on the Zoom with all the ambassadors of nurses present over here. So thank you so much, Dr. Pitti, for your very valuable, your talk on how to, breastfeed and what are various methods you have explained to the people. And one thing I would like to tell you, pre-lactal feed should be avoided. Pre-lactal feed, many times, gutti and all, when this is given, when we say exclusive breastfeeding, so exclusive breastfeeding means exclusive breastfeeding, no feed, no gutti, no tea, no milk, no honey, nothing has to be given to the child for first 6 months except the breast milk. That all the people must, share these awareness with the people in the community at large. So thank you so much. And I think now Mr. SCL Rawat has joined us. Mr. Rawat has joined us. Yeah. Mr. Rawat, welcome. Dr. Rawat can be unmuted. Dr. Vijay, please unmute Dr. Rawat.
Ma'am, sir, can you able to
unmute Dr. SCL Rawat, please?
Just a second. I'm done, ma'am, already.
Yeah. Dr. Rawat, you can unmute yourself. Dr. Vijay, are you unmuting? Yeah.
Hello.
Now you are unmuted. Okay.
I'm audible?
So, yeah, you are
Hello?
audible now. So I welcome you, Professor Dr. SCL Rawatji. You are the principal, University College of Nursing, Baba Farid University of Health Sciences, Faridkot, Punjab, and you are also the secretary of Pediatric and Neonatal Nursing Forum of India. So you are welcome at this forum. He's a very senior person, and with the, he will provide you the elaborative knowledge about. He will tell you as a secretary of the PNNFI. He is going to tell you how you have to register. And whosoever is present over here, I want to request all of you to become the member of PNNFI. Okay, so all the 1,000 people who have registered here for this particular webinar, I would like you all to register with this forum and make this forum, Pediatric Forum, as a, take it to the sky and to the height under the banner of I'm unmuted. You can all hear me? So
Yes,
now,
madam.
Yes, ma'am. You can go.
Not taking much of time, over to Professor Rawat now. Professor Rawat, unmute yourself.
Madam, I'm
You are
sorry
not
to
audible.
Hello.
Now you are audible, please.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. And I will not take much time because Madam already, our head, Dr. P.T. College already highlighted all these things. But yes, being a this PNNFI secretary, I will put few things on breastfeeding. Madam has elaborated each and every aspect, but I will tell you little bit about milk banking. Getting exclusive breastfeeding, this and that, no pediatric feed, nothing should be given, but availability of milk is very, very important. That is very, very important.
Hardeep can be unmuted with Dr. Vijay. Hardeep can be unmuted, please.
Hello, I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
So Miss, I will put little bit the flesh on availability of milk. Everybody is aware about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is the best feeding and is best for each and every aspect, brain development or physical development, this and that. But when we are not having that availability of milk is not there, means we are fail. So we have to improve how we can make available the milk for needy one. For that, milk banking, our Professor Hardeep will highlight it. When this banking concept came to India, and being it this Pediatric and Neonatal Forum of India, we have to do something for creating awareness about milk banking and how we can donate the milk. We are aware of blood plasma. आजकल plasma की बात चल रही है, but we have to, general public have to know about donation of human milk, and for that we need further that we can create awareness that this banking system or milk bank or people will decide और लोग आए सामने आकर के कि we are ready to donate milk that is exist for my child or my baby. So that breastfeeding week and the breastfeeding advantages, exclusive breastfeeding, how to attach this and that is very nice, but we have to give more emphasis on make available this इसको कहते हैं ना अमृत या माँ का दूध, that is very, very important for the child. So I will not take much time. Over to Madam Asha Qureshi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rawat. You are the ambassador of pediatrics. You are the ambassador of neonate. And you have prepared so many nurses, pediatric nurses who are working in the community as well as in the hospitals. So thank you, Mr. Rawat, to be with us on this day. Now we have with us a very, very eminent speaker, Dr. Leila VARKEY. She is BSc Honors in Nursing, and she has done MA in Engineering also, and she has done her SCD in Public Health, has dedicated her career to health policy engagement and research for the improvement in women. And I think you can all hear me. You can all hear me?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay. Okay. She is engaged in research for improvement in women and children health in rural India for the last 31 years. Her research and advocacy in reproductive and maternal and child health aims to inform public health policies and system response to reproductive health need of the country. She was a member of the high-level expert group on universal health coverage, which reported to the chair of the Planning Commission in 2012. She She was elected editor of the CMAI journal CMJI for one term. She was the first chief operating officer of the TNAI, Central Institute of Nursing Education and Research in Greater Noida in the year 2011 to 12. Later, she joined the Center for Catalyzing Change. Will you please mute your mic? Whose phone is coming? Whose phone is ringing? Whose phone is ringing? ये क्या हो रहा भाई?
Ma'am, the organizer can mute if you want. No? The host can mute all and then unmute.
I done, ma'am. Only co-hosts, they can able to unmute themselves only.
Thank you. Professor Aisha, we can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So I was talking about Dr. VARKEY. She was Chief Operating Officer of TNI, as I told you. Later, she joined the Center for Catalyzing Change as Senior Advisor, Reproductive, Maternal, Newborn, and Child Health. Dr. Leila is a member of the White Ribbon Alliance for Safe Motherhood India, that is WRAI, and the Society of Midwives in India, which is called SOMI, since their formation in the year 1999. Dr. VARKEY was awarded the Ruth Freeman Award and David Curinelli Award for the scholarly work, and also the Population Council Social Science Dissertation Fellowship. She was also offered the American Association of Indian Studies Scholarship while pursuing her research in India. Currently, she leads WRAI work on quality of care advocacy and a national member for Lakshya program. She's working so nicely in the Lakshya program where WRAI was contributed to a greater focus on respectful maternity care and ensuring adequate mentoring and feedback. As senior advisor, she is also involved in supporting WRAI program for an introduction of the cadre called Nurse Practitioner in Midwifery, launched by the Government of India. So I welcome you, ma'am, for this forum, and we will love to hear you. And before Madam starts, I would like to show you one video which has been sent by Madam. So I request Prempati to just show the video. You all will enjoy the video. Dr. Leila VARKEY, I again welcome you on this forum. And I think Dr. Leila VARKEY has to unmute herself.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Yes, Prempati, slideshow, please. Film show.
Can you see this? Hello, can you see this?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, all right. I'll start again.
Yeah.
And please, everybody, mute yourself, but let me see you, because if I can't see any reactions to the film, then I feel I'm doing a one-sided view. So please keep your screens on so I can see you, but put that microphone off so that there's no sound disturbance as this video is played. This was produced a good almost 10 years ago, and it was used across the world to help all of us understand in a very short time why there was even a need for this huge movement that we have across the world. I'll call it a movement because it began, as a need, and now it is all across the world as something we all feel is absolutely essential for both mothers and newborns. So this is a short 3-minute film. So go ahead and enjoy it.
The sound is not there, Dr. Varkey. Dr. Varkey, sound is not there. Dr. Varkey, the sound is not there, please. Thank you, Dr. Varkey. Thank you for the beautiful video. I think all of you have enjoyed. Now, Dr. Leila will talk to you about respectful maternity care.
Thank you. Give me 1 minute.
You can all see her video again on the YouTube and Facebook Live, because our program is coming live also everywhere.
Yeah. Just let me try and go back out, and I will be sharing a presentation now and telling you about the whole concept of respectful maternity care, where it came from and why it's so important. Let me begin first of all by thanking you all, especially Dr. Aisha Qureshi from Galgotias University, and for the office bearers of PNNFI, Dr. Piti Kaul, Dr. HCL Rawat, Dr. Smriti Arora for facilitating this whole process, and to all my fellow nurses and others who are interested in ensuring that breastfeeding remains full, whole, and center as the primary and most important nutrition for the newborn and for babies worldwide, and especially in India. So to all of you, I give my greetings for this week, and I am so grateful that you have given us, this is the Center for Catalyzing Change and White Ribbon Alliance, the opportunity to share with you our thoughts on respectful maternity care. I'll try not to take too much time. So I'm afraid I can take no questions during the presentation, but please keep writing in the chat box if you have questions. And later on, if there is time, I'll try and answer them. So I'm starting a presentation. Hold on, I'm not too good at doing this, sharing this business. 1 minute. So just hold on. All right, let me know if you can see this. Can you see this presentation now? Hello?
Yeah, I think it's coming now.
Can all of you? Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm discussing with you the respectful maternity care chart. So important. Universal right in the heart of this thing. Breastfeeding is such a foundational, fundamental right. Human, but not of mammals. We are a global universe, and we are one of mammals. Our responsibility to bring our bonds related to emotional care, to physical. It has been beautifully created.
Dr. Varkey, your voice is breaking.
All right.
And the screen is still downloading.
Oh.
Yeah, screen is not being shown, and your voice is breaking. I think some.
Is this okay now? Can you see it?
Yeah, voice is okay, but we can't see your slides.
Can you ask someone I sent? Can they please project it from your team?
Yeah,
might be able to project it.
Please,
please project.
share the slide. Dear Prempati, please share the slide.
Anyway, I will carry on speaking while she manages to get the slides on so that we don't waste time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So promoting and protecting women's access to breastfeeding is one of the most important and primary functions of pediatric nurses. There are many, many occasions where we sometimes feel that the health of the mother, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Okay, okay. I request Dr. Vijay to, bring Prempati as co-host so that she can share the slide. Dr. Vijay, please.
And I'll carry on speaking. Okay, so while breastfeeding is a natural process, it's not always easy. And mothers need a lot of support during this. That support is one of our primary functions for pediatric and neonatal nurses to start, initiate, and sustain breastfeeding. Much of this requires skilled counseling. And skilled counseling, I'm going to put my video off so that you can hear the sound better. I have a feeling the video is causing slowing down. Just hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, ma'am.
Yes. So skilled counseling services are needed to ensure that mothers and families receive the support and information and advice that they need, and reassurance, most important, that they can nourish their babies optimally. There are many circumstances where women lose confidence. You can imagine in strained situations, in surroundings where they are not supported, that mental block starts taking place, anxiety starts taking over, and many times the initiation of breastfeeding, maybe the condition of the newborn, maybe premature or maybe with congenital abnormalities or other disabilities, may also cause mothers to hesitate. So it is absolutely critically important that counseling takes over. There are professional breastfeeding counselors, but in my view, a pediatric nurse or a neonatal nurse is one of the best to reassure and help the mother and baby learn breastfeeding, and midwives who cross the spectrum from mother and baby are also ideally placed to help in ensuring confidence and establishment of breastfeeding among mothers. So now I'm just going to go through the Respectful Maternity Care Charter so that you all understand what this charter is all about. Prempati, have you been able to put the slides on? Hello? Have you been able to put the slides on? I can't hear you.
Dr. Vijay, why you have removed Prempati from co-host? She has to share the slides. You, Prempati, you made her co-host, na? So you removed her. So she has to share the slide for the presentation now. She is not in a meeting.
I'll try and do this myself. Just hold on then. If I can. 1 minute.
You just add her, huh? I'm telling her to join.
So why was the Respectful Maternity Charter needed? You've just seen a video which clearly shows that across the world, not overcrowded facilities, high-end facilities, all of these needed to ensure that women and their newborns were treated with respect. So the Respectful Maternity Charter is like a charter of demands that a whole group of people put together to ask for in public. So raising awareness is one of our first and foremost objectives of the rights and guarantees that the United Nations and international law holds for mothers and newborns. The second is to highlight the connection between human rights guarantees and healthcare delivery for maternal and newborn care. The third is to increase the capacity of advocates for maternal, newborn, and child health to participate in ensuring the human rights process. We also would like to align women's demands for high quality maternal and newborn care with international human rights law standards and provide a foundation for holding government.
Ma'am, you can see the slides now. The slide has been shared.
All right, hold on, I'll have to check. She started the screening just now. Hold on.
Yeah, it has come.
Okay, slide 2, please. Next slide.
Next slide, please.
Oh my God. Just 1 second, hold on. Net issue.
I'll stop sharing. Hold on.
Ajit Vijay Singh, what is this going on? Ajit Singh Yadav, please. I can see some of the activities going on at the back.
May I carry on speaking, ma'am?
I think network problem.
Ma'am, Ashia ma'am, can you share or you don't have the slide?
Yeah, if you send me, I will try.
All right, okay.
Ma'am, I'll send you.
You send me the slide.
I will carry on speaking. So the important thing is to understand the distinct.
Yeah, it is coming. It is coming now.
All right. So please go to slide 3, slide number 3, which is the reasons for needing. Yeah. Slide number 3, please. Everyone has the right to information, consent, and respect of their choices and preferences, including a companion at, okay, now you've moved it. All right. So this charter was needed so that we can support the foundation of respectful maternity care across all aspects of healthcare. And you will all know that this process has taken us around 4 to 5 years in India, but it is now fully grounded in our quality of care across all maternal newborn health provisioning. And you know, we are also very clear that Lakshya in its objectives has respectful maternity care. And one of the key indicators of respectful maternity care is the ability of a woman to have a companion of her choice. This is not a skilled person. This is her emotional and physical supporter. It may be a family member, it may be a friend who she would like to hold or to be in contact with during the whole of the process of labor and delivery. So this is a really important step that we in India have been able to take, and we are very proud of it, that the respectful maternity care aspects have been incorporated within our quality of care framework for both the mother and the newborn. And I will quickly go through the 10 elements of the respectful maternity care. Harshita, you cannot see the slides. I'm just closing it. It will come up next. Don't worry, we will share it with you eventually. So just listen to me right now. Okay, now next slide, please. Prempati, could you please put the next slide? The first aspect of the maternity care charter of rights is everyone has the right to freedom from harm and mistreatment. As I was studying for this webinar today, I was shocked to find in many papers that the average number of times a newborn in a NICU or a SNCU is approximately 11 to 12 times has the experience of pain or of intrusive physical movement, which the baby and the newborn are not happy with. 11 times. And in earlier times, it was almost 20 times. This is a huge, huge number. And we as nurses, as the primary caregivers in many places in these institutions must make sure that we follow as much as possible that the right of the mother and newborn are respected and they have a right to freedom from harm and ill treatment. No one is allowed to physically hurt you or your newborn. You should both be taken care of in a gentle and compassionate manner and receive assistance when experiencing pain or discomfort. Again and again, we find that newborns' pain or discomfort is not considered important, and there is a sense that they do not feel pain or discomfort, which is completely untrue. So we must make sure that this does not happen. The second one is everyone has a right to information, informed consent, respect of their choices, preferences, including, as I said earlier, a companion of choice during maternity care, and they also have the right to refusal of certain medical procedures. No one is allowed to force you to do things you or your newborn for you or your newborn without your knowledge or consent. So the mother is the bearer of the rights of the newborn. Every woman has the right to autonomy, to receive information, provide informed consent, or refusal of care. Every parent or guardian has the right to receive information and provide informed consent for the care of themselves and their newborn. And this is kept in the law at the best interest of the newborn, otherwise provided under law. The next one is everyone has a right to privacy and confidentiality. This again is one of those rights which is often violated for the newborn. We want to ensure that the newborn's rights for privacy and confidentiality also continue. No one is allowed to share you or your newborn's personal or medical information, including records, images, without your consent. Yours and your newborn's privacy must be protected, except as necessary for healthcare providers to convey information for continuity of care. The fourth element is everyone is their own person from the moment of birth and has the right to be treated with dignity and respect. No one is allowed to humiliate, verbally abuse, speak about, or touch you or your newborn in a degrading or disrespectful manner. You and your newborn baby must be cared for with respect and compassion. Number 5, right? Number 5. Everyone has the right to equality, freedom from discrimination, and equitable care. No one is allowed to discriminate against you or your newborn because of something that they think they do not like about you or your little one. Equality requires that all pregnant women have the same protections under the law as they would when they were not pregnant, including the right to make their own decisions on what happens to their baby. Number 6, everyone has the right to healthcare and to the highest attainment level of health. This is a rather difficult one. Number 6, the next one, please. Yeah. This is a rather difficult one in our circumstances when we sometimes feel that due to overcrowding or due to lack of facilities, what does it mean highest attainable level of healthcare? Number 6, please stay on number 6. Yes. No one may prevent you or your newborn from getting the healthcare which either of you need and what you are entitled to in a timely manner in a clean and safe environment. We must not accept the status quo. If it is unacceptable, then we all must work together to improve it. All of these are legally authorized under international conventions, such as the International Covenant on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights, the Convention on Elimination on All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, which is called CEDAW. This was signed in 1979 and India is a signatory. And one of the chief ones is called the Convention on the Right of the Child, which was signed in 1990. And it has many articles, but this pertains to Article 23 and 24. Let's go to number 7. Everyone has the right to liberty. Next slide, please. Everyone has the right to liberty, autonomy, self-determination, and freedom from arbitrary detention. How many times we hear that हमें अंदर नहीं जाने दे रहे, हमें कुछ देखने नहीं दे रहे, कुछ बता नहीं रहे हैं. How many times is it that the mother is told that you cannot go? This type of care is not as per the legal authority. No one is allowed to detain you or your newborn in a healthcare facility, even if you cannot pay for the services received. So once care has been begun, the responsibility is that it continues. Number 8, every child has the right to be with their parents or guardians, and no one is allowed to separate you from your newborn without your consent. You and your newborn have the right to remain together at all times, even if your newborn is born small, premature, or with medical conditions which require extra care. This does not mean that they will not go to the NICU or the SNCU or take in care, but it means that you have that added responsibility to ensure the family understands why the newborn care. It's absolutely essential that this becomes very clear. Explaining things to parents is one of the chief responsibilities of care providers. Number 9, every child has a right to an identity and a nationality at birth. Next one, please. Number 9. Yeah. Now, this is a little contentious. As you can imagine, in many countries, there are huge complications over this issue. However, in international law, and some of these signatories for these international laws exclude certain countries, and many of them do exclude the United States of America. But India has signed many of these with the International Court of Justice and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. So every child has the right for an identity. This means even if the child after birth, born alive and then dies, is allowed to have a birth certificate and then a death certificate. They can ask for this. So no one is allowed to deny your newborn a birth registration, even if they die shortly after birth, or deny the nationality of your newborn as it is legally entitled to. So whatever the country's legal entitlements for those born in the country must be maintained. It is our duty to find out and to understand India's laws on these issues, and your welcome conventions, such as the protection of the rights of all migrant workers and the members of their families, which was signed in 1990, Article 29. The last one, number 10. Slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. Everyone has the right to adequate nutrition and clean water. No one is allowed to prevent you or your newborn from having adequate nutrition, clean water, or a healthy environment, including breastfeeding. Sorry, yes. You have the right to information and support on child nutrition and the advantages of breastfeeding. Nobody can prevent you from having these. So in the last slide, there's a summary of all these 10 rights. Can you show the next slide, please? Next slide. Yeah. So we will be sharing this. This has all these 10 respectful maternity care charter rights for mothers and newborns. India, through its approval of RMC within Lakshya, is allowing this to become part of our quality of care. It is not a separate right or a charter, but because we are signatories of the global UN conventions upon which these human rights are based, India is definitely one of the countries which is moving towards ensuring that this takes place. And as I said, the 10th one, everyone has the right to adequate nutrition and clean water. This includes breastfeeding, and this can be taken even up into legal prospects as needed. So just to close, I would like to let you know that the White Ribbon Alliance is a global alliance, and within India, the Center for Catalyzing Change, which is the organization with which I work, that works on healthy mothers, healthy girls, and healthy women, works towards ensuring these respectful maternity care charter is used. We have also supported research to ensure that wherever there has been disrespect and abuse, those areas can be looked at carefully. Studies have been done by nurses and by doctors all across. So there's a lot of evidence of disrespect and abuse, but there is also a lot of evidence of how communities can make a huge difference by asking for these rights. So thank you once again, especially to PNNFI and to Galgotia University for supporting us through this process. Thank you. Over back to you, ma'am. Back to you, Aisha, ma'am.
Unmute. Okay.
If
I
there
think
are
you can hear me now. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Varkey, for a beautiful enlightenment of the respectful maternity care, and that is really needed. Whether we are in developed country or we are in developing country, everywhere this is going on. I had visited Western countries and I have visited Europe. I found the same thing which is going on here in India. So there is no, you're very right, that discrimination and confidentiality and all those things are needed everywhere. So thank you so much, madam. And we will have your support again sometimes so that we can train our nurses and we can visit your place, and we can, have some of the coordination, and MOU sign with you. Thank you so much. And now I think our last speaker is Dr. Hardeep Kaur. Dr. Hardeep Kaur is from, she is professor and head of the Department Community Health Nursing, University College of Nursing, Baba Farid University of Health Sciences, Punjab. She has been graduated from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIMS, New Delhi, and she was my student. You are welcome, Hardeep. Nice, seeing you to rise so high. I welcome you. She has done her master's from PGI Chandigarh, PhD from University Patiala. Presently, she is Senate member of Baba Farid University of Health Sciences, Faridkot, and editor of Baba Farid Nursing Journal, member of editorial board, and so many things. She bagged Young Scientist Award of at International Conference on Clinical Research. Dr. Hardeep Kaur will talk to us about breastfeeding and human bank. Very, very important. When the mother cannot feed or mother is going for job and, the mother is sick. So the milk bank is required, as Dr. Rawat also has emphasized, the importance of having the bank and the procurement of milk for the child, when the mother is not available or the mother is away, so how to do that. So Hardeep, over to you. Please talk on, milk bank.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am. So first of all, I want to just let me share the screen. I think out somewhere. I would like to thank eminent personalities of Galgotias University and personalities of P and NFI for providing this wonderful webinar. And this also gave me the opportunity to present my topic on breastfeeding and human milk banking. I'm not able to share my screen because I don't know where to go.
You send me, I will share your screen.
Okay, can anybody guide me from where I should, like this is coming, Microsoft.
Yeah, you are the host. You can share the screen. It is at the top, you know, that arrow. You just share the screen. Go to your sharing screen.
Okay, ma'am. Let me open my
On
slide.
on your phone or your laptop, where you are.
Put it on full screen and then share. When you see full screen at the green, you will see a green line which says share.
There is green line, share the content. And then you can press that sharing content or send it to me. I will share for you. Hadeep, did you get it? Share content, press that. Then you have to share the screen. And then share the slides, wherever they are.
Okay, ma'am. I'm just trying.
May I talk to Mr. Ajit Singh Yadav? Mr. Ajit Singh Yadav, can you hear me? Because it is very disturbing. You are doing some activity at the back on the screen. Dr. Ajit Singh Yadav. Please put off your video. Put off your camera, please. I think all of you are disturbed, no, by that activities. Okay, Hardeep ji, boliye. Can you share the slide?
Okay, ma'am. I'm just sharing it. Let me share. Let me send the mail, ma'am. I'm sending the mail.
Dean S1 पे भेजो.
I have mail ID of Prempati, ma'am.
अच्छा, Prempati को भेजो, then she will send me.
I'm just sending, ma'am.
Prempati, are you there? Neha, are you there? Anybody, any one of my faculties there?
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ हाँ प्रेमपति
Ma'am, I'm sharing, ma'am.
हमारे फैकल्टी वहाँ पे
Ma'am, all of us. That's why I was not able to mute. सर ने हम सबको म्यूट किया हुआ है मैम, हम अनम्यूट नहीं कर सकते.
मैंने स्पेशल नाम भेजा था. अच्छा चलो मेरे को भेजो I will share. हाँ Hardeep, you can continue. I will share your slide. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Prempati is sending me. I think I am the oldest and I am the highest in technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some problem in screen sharing. Before also I shared, but I don't know what is the problem. Ma'am, I have sent the this thing slide. Please see and share.
Our youngsters are facing problem, but I am not facing any problem.
That's true, ma'am.
Chalo, good. So you continue. Hardeep, continue.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, did you get my slides? Just see. I'm just starting with this breastfeeding and human milk banking. And we all know that breastfeeding and the importance of breastfeeding. If I say the breast milk, which is the first milk, and this is referred to as a liquid gold. And we know that this is the most suitable food for the newborns. And the first milk, which is thick and yellow color, and in Shastras also it is called Piyusha. It means Amrit, the liquor of life. And the Western sciences, we use word colostrum, which is also known as infant's first immunization. So in nutshell, we can say that for the children, breastfeeding makes a difference between life and death. And if we talk about the need and importance, it is a very effective way to provide a baby a caring environment and complete food. It not only gives the completes the nutrition requirements of the baby, but also emotional, psychological needs of the infants. And it's very true fact that it is the safest, cheapest, and best protective food for the infants. And due to superior nutritive value and protectivity, we can say that it is a perfect food for the infants, and it provides a total nutrient requirement for the first 6 months of life of the infants. And if we talk about the exclusive breastfeeding, the World Health Organization and UNICEF, they have recommended that exclusive breastfeeding is very, very important for the infant to just prevent for potential complications. And the initiation of breastfeeding should be started within the first hour of life. And there should not be any additional food or drink which has to be given when the exclusive breastfeeding is going on. Not even the water has to be given to the baby. And breastfeeding has to be given on demand, and there should not be use of bottles, teats, or pacifiers. And if we talk about the effective breastfeeding, if I talk about the effective breastfeeding, it starts from the positioning. And the positioning means whenever the mother is going to give breastfeed to the baby, whatever position she takes, it depends on the comfortability of the mother. And when she takes the appropriate position, then there should be lashing, that means adequate attachment with the breast. And if there is adequate lashing is there, the baby will suck the feed, and there will be milk transfer from the mother to the baby. So there are different positions. If you can share the slides, I have just given the pics of all the positions to just have a look on those different comfortable according to the comfortability of the mothers. There are sideline holds by the mother. Then cradle hold can be there, that can be on the same arm. Cradle hold can be on the opposite arm. And the one positioning is rugby ball hold, and rugby ball hold can be done on the single baby, even on the twins baby. And there is also a koala hold in which some elder infants or children, they can take the feed from the mother. And laid back breastfeeding is also there. That position is for biological nurturing. And if the mother has undergone cesarean section, then there is a position for the mother which she can take without having discomfort related to cesarean section, which is called laid back breastfeeding. Then comes after these positions, I just want to discuss about the lashing. And this is the proper attachment of the baby to the breast. And when the adequate lashing is there, that means tongue is seen when the bottom lip is pulled down, and the ears of the baby wiggle, and there is circular movement of the jaw rather than rapid chin movements, which are seen when the lashing is there. And there is absence of clicking or smacking noises, but there is presence of swallowing noises, and chin touches the breast. And when the baby comes off the breast, nipple is not flattened or misshaped. This shows that the baby has taken the adequate breastfeed from the mother with lashing. Then again, UNICEF said that breastfeeding in the first 6 months of life is very important, because nearly half of all diarrhea episodes, 1/3 of all respiratory infections, they can be prevented with increased breastfeeding in low and middle income countries. And there are different reports which have come from UNICEF, WHO, and they have said that India, along with Indonesia, China, Mexico, Nigeria, they account for 236,000 child deaths in a year, which is only due to inadequate breastfeeding. And this report came in 2016 and 2018. Another report says that if there is delay in breastfeeding after birth, this can be life-threatening for the baby. Now I want to just discuss some of the news headings which I have come across, and even I discussed with Rawat sir before starting preparing for this topic. There was a case in which the mother's milk was transported from Leh in Ladakh to New Delhi, that is 1,000 kilometers away, because mother delivered her baby at Leh in Ladakh, but that baby needs some major surgery, and that baby was taken to New Delhi Supermax Specialty Hospital, and the father used to go to the IJI airport every day to collect the ice box, and this ice box comes from Leh in Ladakh, and this contains breast milk sent by his wife for his 35 days old son. So this got gave me goosebumps that what efforts the parents have taken to just transport breast milk from such a long distance to the at New Delhi. So this problem can be just taken care of if there are human milk banks available at many hospitals, and there are no obstacles. Ma'am, please have the next slide, please. Yes, next. Continue, ma'am, please. So these are these are the positions which you will see. I have just told about. Please continue, ma'am. Continue. I'll tell you where to stop. Continue. Yes, these are different positions. Continue. Yes. So this is koala hold. This is the laid back breastfeeding. Next, laid back breastfeeding feeding in cesarean section. Next. Continue, please. Yes, continue. Next slides. These are not coming. Just come to the case scenario. That is another case I want to discuss that I have read in the newspaper, that on 4th April, one mother, Shilpa Bhardwaj, she delivered at Jaipur, and due to some complications, she expired. But her family members knows that the mother's feed is very important. And that time, next please continue. And that time, one of their friend told them, continue, next. One of their friend told that, yes, next. So this here, okay, so they came to know about the Amrit Milk Bank. So this is the non-profit organization, and they came to know that they can get pasteurized donor human milk from there, and with the doctor's recommendation, they get 10 bottles a day for the newborn. And then that hospital gave 25 bottles because they need to have one bottle of 30 ml milk every 2 hours. So after that, they have just the parent, the father has said that because we have suffered with this tragedy, so we came to know about the existence of such services. So human milk bank is a very life-saving measure for the babies. Next slide. And I would like to say that the best food for an infant who cannot get it from his own mother's breast is from another healthy mother. So here came the concept of human milk banking. And here I want to highlight that one Kolkata nurse breastfeeds newborn baby, and she was herself a new mother. In her hospital where she was working, she came to know that another patient who delivered a baby has undergone cesarean section. She could not start lactating. Rather, there were 8 more mothers who delivered in that ward, but they were not willing to give breastfeed to that baby due to coronavirus care. So this nurse, she was also a new mother, she gave breastfeed to this baby. So this came the concept of, next slide, wet nurses. Wet nurses, if we say that this is always a part of Indian history in mythology. If we go back in our Indian history, we know that our Lord Krishna, who was delivered by Devaki, but breastfed by Yashoda. So in a country where aunts also do breastfeed their nephews while their mothers take a break, so in India, this human milk bank is not very unique concept. Next slide. So a human milk bank is a service that is attached to hospitals. Next slide. That attached to hospitals or nursing homes where breast milk is collected, screened, and stored from healthy lactating mothers who willfully donate the milk to meet the nutrition requirements of babies who are not biologically related to them. Next slide. So if we talk about the history in the world about human milk banking, I'm just go quickly through this. So donating breast milk, that can be traced back to the practice of history in the world, and the first record of regulations regarding the sharing of breast milk are found in Babylonian Code of Hammurabi. And in the 11th century European culture, they have just considered this practice as a royalty and aristocracy of Europe. But again in 19th century, this practice declined due to some unhygienic concerns. Next slide. And then there was a research in the University of Vienna from 1902 to 1911, and they tried to investigate the sources of nutrients and their effect on the neonates. And this research was done by Theodore Estrich, and he demonstrated that when the baby is breastfed, the intestinal flora or bacteria are more healthy in the babies who are breastfed as compared to the babies who have fed on other means. So in 1909, the Estrich opened the first human milk bank, and then there were the opening of many more. Next slide. And then again in 1960s, when there was advancement in the technology, decline in human milk banking comes because the people or the doctors, I can say that they were more interested to have neonatal care, advancement in neonatal care and baby formulas. But still that time in 1980, World Health Organization and UNICEF said that there is no need to have baby formulas, but there is because there is no replacement or alternative for the donor breast milk. And then again there was the HIV epidemic, and due to that there was stringent screening cost of the operating milk banks, which has again some obstacle in the working of human milk banks. But again in the with the passage of time, there was improvement in the screening methods, standardizations, and this human breast milk banking is mushrooming. So coming to the human milk banks in Asia. So it is very proud to just hear that the first milk bank in Asia under the name of Sneha, founded by Dr. Armeda Fernandez, was started in Dharavi, Mumbai on November 27, 1989. And in September 2016, the state government of Rajasthan, they set up the breast milk banks in 10 of their district hospitals, and making it a leading state with a total of 13 banks, then Maharashtra 12 banks, Tamil Nadu 10 banks, and now there are about 60 human milk banks working in India. So coming to the next slide, pasteurized donor human milk, which is delivered through human milk banks, for whom it is suggestive. So there are some situations where mother is not able to give baby her feed, or sometimes the babies are not having their mother, like there is a sudden death, like there is a sudden death or a grief, or the mother is not willing to give feed to the mother, or there is absence or insufficient lactation, mothers with multiple births, that means she is not able to secrete adequate amount of milk, for babies of non-lactating mothers who adopt neonates, and there are some abundant neonates, sick neonates, or there is some temporary interruption of some breastfeeding, like if any mother has gone under some breast surgery, she is not able to feed the baby, or there is some major surgery, she is not conscious to give the feed to the baby. So there can be some temporary interruptions. And one example I have told you about the mother who is there in Leh in Ladakh, and her baby is in the New Delhi. So there is temporary interruption in that case also. An infant at health risk from breast milk with a biological mother, if biological mother is having some serious complications, some serious infections, babies whose mother died in the immediate postpartum period. So in these all situations, the baby should be provided with pasteurized donor human milk. So I'll just go through quickly through the different infrastructure and processing of human breast milk in human milk banks. There are no standard recommendations regarding the space requirements for creation of human milk banks. There are guidelines which are formed in 2013, but related to space, the space requirement is partition. They need to have some partition room of 250 square feet, and in which there should be comfortably lodgement of at least the equipment required for milk banking, and there is need to have one work area for the technician and some storage space for records, administration area of counseling donors, and of course there is a need to have one room for privacy where the breast milk expression has to be done by the mothers, and teaching videos on KMC, expression of breast milk, advantages of breast milk feeding, they can be shown under the supervision. And the equipments include the pasteurizer, which also called shaker water bath, which is a device to carry out heat treatment of donor milk. Next slide. At the recommended temperature of 62.5 degrees centigrade for a period of 30 minutes. And its size varies according to the need of milk bank, with the tray capacity varying from 9 to 24 containers of 200 to 400 ml capacity. Next slide. Next comes the deep freezer. It is used to store the milk at minus 20 degrees centigrade or colder in the milk bank. And this storage of milk till the post-pasteurization milk culture reports are available, because the milk is dispersed only when the microbiological reports came to be negative in terms of the contaminants. And the storage of pasteurized milk, once the culture reports are negative, the milk is considered safe for reimbursement. Next slide. Then comes the refrigerator. These are required to store the milk till the whole day selection is over and milk is ready to be mixed and cooled for further processing. A hot air oven or autoclave is essential for sterilizing the containers, used for collection from donors, containers for pasteurization. The test tubes are needed for sending milk culture samples to the microbiology labs. And of course, these need to have breast milk pumps. Those can be automated ones or those can be manual. And because the manual are a little cost effective, and the containers to store the, just to collect and store the milk. And in the Western countries, the containers of polycarbonates, Pyrex or polypropylene are used. But in India scenario, the wide mouth stainless steel containers are used of 200 ml capacity, again to see the cost effectiveness of the containers. Then comes the milk analyzer, and this is again to have micronutrient analysis to estimate calorie, protein, fat of milk sample using infrared spectroscopy technology, and just to see the different content of the milk. Who can be the administrative staff? It includes a director, which is helpful for the planning, implementing, evaluating the services. Milk bank officer, preferably a doctor. Lactation management nurses for assisting expression of breast milk and for the counseling services. And milk bank technician for pasteurization of breast milk and microbiological surveillance. And who can be the donors? The mothers who are willing to donate milk are screened detailed telephone and written questionnaires, or that can be online questionnaires, and for taking their health history, potential infectious diseases. And this serology includes testing for hepatitis B, C, and CJD, and the human T-cell leukemia virus. And again, the obstetrical lactation history is reviewed, including pregnancies, milk production, diet, and if any medications she is taking. And the donor should be in good health, non-smokers, non-taking medications like nicotine replacement therapy, and she should have limited caffeine intake and should avoid alcohol within specific time period. So comes the next collection of breast milk. After proper counseling, we have come across the donors who have just gone through all the screening. They can come to the collection area, and then expression of milk in the subsequent containers can be done. And then these has to be transported to, next slide, these has to be transported to the human milk bank under cold storage conditions. Please, next slides. So these were all about the equipments. Now the processing of human breast milk. So all batches of collected raw breast milk should be refrigerated immediately till the serological reports comes negative. And then microbiological testing is very important. Please move on to the next slide, because these are very important slides. So I want that you all just see and hear me. So if we talk about the microbiological testing, it is before pasteurization and after pasteurization of the human milk. And before pasteurization, if the samples exceed count of 105 colony forming units per ml for total viable microorganisms, or 104 colony forming units per ml for enterobacteria, or 104 colony forming units per ml for Staphylococcus aureus, so that milk has to be discarded. If after pasteurization, again it is ensured that sterilization is over and milk is analyzed for amount of fat, protein and carbohydrates. Somebody is speaking, please mute your speaker. Also, calorie content is collected for each batch. So next comes the storage. Please continue with the next slides. So there is a provision of storage. That means there is a... Please mute your speakers. So storage is done in the same containers that is used for pasteurization. And then if the culture reports came negative, and the milk should be kept at -20 degrees centigrade. And now what are the human milk formulations? After the milk is going in the human milk bank, it is there is a variety of milk formulations are there, like the infants get the term milk, early term milk, colostrum, preterm milk, non-fat milk, non-dairy, and several caloric densities from 20 to 24 kilocalories per ounce. It is dispensed according to the medical condition of the baby, and the recipients are charged with money for processing and shipping. Then disbursement. Disbursal is very important, and it has to be done on the physician's requisition. The infant where the baby is admitted, or where the human milk is needed, the physician writes the requisition, and after taking the informed consent from the parents of the recipients, and then this pasteurized donor human milk is disbursed to the parents for the baby. And in the human milk banking, labeling and record keeping is very important, so that ensuring full traceability from individual donation to recipient, and maintaining a record of all storage and processing conditions. And written standard operating procedure should be followed. Confidentiality of record should be maintained by the milk bank, and there should be proper labeling of the sterile containers, and the label should be water resistant, names, identifying details of donors, dates of pasteurization, batch numbers, and expiry dates should be clearly readable. And there are some guidelines for the staff of human milk bank, and they have to follow the standard operating procedures, SOP of the bank, and they should be adhere to hygienic practices like proper hand washing, donning gowns, mask, gloves, trimming nails, long hairs. This has to be maintained, and the gloves should be worn, changed between handling raw and heat treated milk. Staff should undergo regular health checkups, immunized against hepatitis B, and there should be a program for ongoing training of the staff. And there are a number of active human banks in India. If you were able to just go through my slides, there are a number of active. I have just listed on few of them: Amara, Delhi, Lokmanya Tilak Hospital, and so on. And after this active human banks, I want to discuss about some of the issues that are related to human breast milk banks. And there are several studies who have highlighted that there are some practical issues regarding the human milk and feeding of premature neonates that needs to be added. The first and foremost is method and effect of pasteurization. Although there are new methods which have come with the advancement in technology, that is this flash pasteurization, which is more effective in eliminating pathogens, which preserving valuable biological substances and nutrients. But there is need to have more research to be performed to ensure the safety for these methods and the optimal temperature which needs to be maintained for pasteurization process. The second important issue is safety of milk. As milk bank commonly uses the same selection and screening procedure for donor mothers that local blood banks uses, but freshly collected milk banks or human milk contains bacteria which originate from the skin and duct microflora of the nipples. So in addition, herpes virus, cytomegalovirus, rubella, hepatitis B, these has been shown in the whole milk. So these some diseases which are transferable, and again the safety of the milk should be taken care by the human milk banks with appropriate measures. And the third major issue is method of fortification, because some of
Hardeep,
the
your time is over, please.
okay, ma'am, I'm just
Take your
finishing
time.
it. So there are again concerns related to the method of fortification, but because for fortification coarse milk is needed, and which can also lead to necrotizing enterocolitis in the preterm infants. Then economic impact on the human milk banking, although they are costly, but we can weigh these costs with the complications. If the baby is not getting breast milk, that means later on they can have hospitalization, and that cost is more as compared to this human milk bank's cost. There are some religious issues were also there, but in our country there are no official position among some Muslim scholars on it. So these issues can be tackled with care. No, at the last I want to just discuss about the responsibilities what we nurses and health professionals have about human milk banks, because like I have gone through the literature, I have seen that there will be few human milk banks which are there. In Punjab and Haryana, only one milk bank I can trace, that is at 32 sector Chandigarh, and otherwise there are no milk banks in some of the states. So again, there should be the motivation for our health workers, and even if the human milk banks are there, one should motivate the mothers so that they can go and express their milk, and they can donate their milk with full willingness. And again, there should be some posters, there should be some project activities, workshops, so that the milk donation can be improved. So,
Hardeep, thank you so much. I think
okay,
we have completed 2 hours.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Zoom will close,
Okay,
now.
okay.
So we can have some of the, question answer session.
Okay, ma'am.
If any question answer session is there. Otherwise, because we have finished the time now, 2 hours are completed. And I request now Professor Samriti Arora to please come forward and give a vote of thanks to our eminent speakers, Dr. Pitikol, Hardeep Kaur, Dr. VARKEY, and everyone who is present over here. Samriti, over to Samriti.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So on behalf of Pediatric and Neonatal Nurses Association, India, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Asha Qureshi for taking the initiative of hosting this webinar with us. I'm extremely thankful to you, ma'am, and to your entire team for helping us out. Next, I would like to thank all the PNFI, our president and our secretary, Professor Dr. Pitikol and Rawat sir, for helping us and for initiating this, that we would like to celebrate this breastfeeding week for supporting mothers and the healthier planet. Next, I am extremely grateful to the speakers, the renowned speakers, Dr. Leila VARKEY and Professor Hardeep Kaur, who spoke very nicely and in very detailed and in a very informative manner. They tried to explain everything related to their topics, whether it was respectful maternity care, human milk banking, or the breastfeeding and their advantages. And in the end, I would like to thank all the delegates who have registered and who have participated with us and who are with us at the end of the session, listening patiently for the last 2 hours. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Samriti. Thank you so much. Once again, on behalf of Galgotias University, I would like to thank all of you, and especially Dr. Pitikol, Dr. Hardeep Kaur, Dr. Rawat, Madam Samriti, Professor Samriti, and all the beautiful, I call it as ambassador, you know, in nursing profession. We are ambassador. You all have to say, yes, we are ambassador of nursing. Yes, you are.
पूरे साल करें पढ़ाई करवाई मतलब
Are you ambassador? Yes or no?
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have to go and spread these messages to the people outside in the community. Give them the awareness. Yes, Anna wants to say something. Jacob? We can't hear you, Jacob. We can't hear you.
Please unmute.
We can't hear you. Now we can hear you. Yes, we can. Please.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to speak something? Mr. Dawat?
Yes,
Dr.
madam.
Pediatric.
Actually, I would like to thank all the organizers, especially Professor Dr. Aisha ma'am, who have always keep on inspiring us, saying that, yes, we are all nursing personals. That one, we have loved it right from the starting session you were saying until the end of the session, you told the same and you have motivated us, ma'am. Thank you so much for the support. And I would like to thank all the eminent speakers who have shared their best knowledge with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Really, to end with the quote, I would say, yes, as we are celebrating the breastfeeding, I always tell everybody to encourage breastfeeding and discourage bottle feeding, because breastfeeding is the best feeding.
Thank you once again, Dr. Leila VARKEY, for the beautiful session you have taken and inspired us. And we would like to be associated with you from Galgotias University.
Please, most welcome to join the White Ribbon Alliance. Everyone's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
you said if we stay till the end, you are going to tell us something. You haven't told us.
Send a feedback.
Ashia ma'am, you said if you stay till the end, you'll tell us something.
Feedback link, ma'am.
Sure.